So for this problem, we want to evaluate the definite integral. Now, notice that this one's a little bit different than the other problems because before we had no limits of integration. So we didn't have anything here or here. Now in this problem, we do have a number. We have from 0 to 1. We know we have to use U-substitution because if you notice, if I take the derivative of 2x squared minus 1, I will get something that has an x term in there. So we will have to use U-substitution. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we're going to let u equal this 2x squared minus 1. And then I'm going to take the differential, the derivative, so it's going to be 4x dx. Okay. Now notice I don't want this 4x dx. I don't want this 4. Let me rewrite it so that you can see. I'm going to have integral from 0 to 1. I'm going to have 2x squared minus 1 squared times x dx. So if you see, we want x dx. We don't want that 4. So I'm going to divide this 4 over to isolate the x dx. So I'm going to have 1/4 du is going to be equal to x dx. So this thing is just going to be 1/4 du. Okay. This thing, we just set it equal to u. It's going to be squared. And then we're going to have our integral. Now the thing that's the problem here is that these numbers are originally for x. We don't want x there anymore. We already substituted and changed it to u. So we got to change these 0 and 1 to values of u. So we're going to use this thing to change everything up. So first I know x equals 0. So at x equals 0, let's see what u should be. So u is 2 times 0 squared minus 1. That's just going to give me -1. Okay. So when x equals 0, this is now going to be -1. All right, what about when x was equal to 1? Okay, so try to figure out what this number is. So u is equal to 2 times 1 squared minus 1. It's going to give me 2 minus 1, which gives me 1. So this is just going to be a 1. Okay, all right, so now we got our new limits of integration and we got everything else. Let's pull out this 1/4. So 1/4 integral from -1 to 1 of u squared du. Now we're going to take the antiderivative, 1/4. This is going to be u cubed divided by 3. This is going to be evaluated using fundamental theorem of calculus part 2 from -1 to 1. All right, so I'm going to have 1/4 times 1 cubed divided by 3 minus -1 cubed divided by 3. Okay. All right, so what is this going to give me? So I'm going to have 1/4. This part's going to be 1/3 minus, this is going to be -1/3. Okay, so it's 1/4. This is going to be, give me a positive, so it's going to be 2/3. And what I'm going to have, let me take a 1 there, let me take a 2 there, so I'm going to have 1/6. So this is going to be my answer. So it's the same thing that we did with definite integration, but now we have to plug in these two other terms, so we're not going to have a plus c thing. But other than that, that's all there is to U-substitution. You just need to practice a lot and try to identify what is your u and what is your du, and then go on from there.